Are you haunted at night with images of overnested life cycles? Nesting nightmares are real. I'm going to show you a couple of strategic ways to get out of the nest. There is a rule of thumb about not nesting your logic more than 3 deep. There isn't a performance hit that's going to happen if you become nest happy, but I've found that one, readability of your code becomes a nightmare, and two, reusability becomes almost impossible. We here at Datum Evolve have come up with a couple of strategies to help you not to nest. Oh, don't nest. Nesting bad. So first I want to say that flattening your code is not an easy thing. We've been conditioned our whole life that if someone asks us a question, we either answer it yes or we answer it no. To not answer would kind of weird and a little socially awkward. So when we're building out a workflow, we have to get away from the idea that it's like a choose your own adventure book, that to move on in the story, we have to evaluate true or we have to evaluate false. The first method we have to not nesting is to stack your code. Here in our first example, all we did was we didn't code to all the conditions. We resisted our natural impulse to answer that yes and no question every time, and we stayed silent. So here in the first rule, whether the PO exists, now on false, we're going to do something. We're going to add a note that the PO number was missing, but on true, we're going to stay silent and it's going to move on to the next block and it's going to make its next evaluation. And as you can see, by stacking our code, it makes the readability a lot easier. In our second method, we're using one of my favorite tools in all of OnBase, and that is a task list. I could do a whole series just on power and the cool functionality and the cool things that you can accomplish with task lists. But here we use task lists and we use stacking along with breaks to get out from nesting. I know that's a lot, but here you can see that within the task list, we've now grouped together our validation code. So if we hit a false evaluation on anything, we're flagging it with a property that it's false, and then we're gonna break out of the task list. We no longer need to keep going down. So we've now broken out, and later on in our code, we can look for that flag, we can evaluate on that flag, and we can send it to some sort of a review queue. You're not gonna be able to take out all nesting. Some nesting is necessary. I'm just asking you to evaluate your code to see if you could do it differently, if you can flatten it. Then you might be able to take away that nesting crutch and you'll start finding that your code is cleaner. And your team members are probably going to appreciate you for it. Maybe take you out to lunch. But if they don't take you out to lunch, just know you always have me here and we can have a snack together. I'm from Boston originally, so Cape Cod, near and dear to my heart. Have some potato chips from my hometown. These are like nice little fade out.